What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Northlake Survivors. I'm Jonathan.
Zelda.
So how are you doing, sir?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. So what's been new with you? How's motherhood?
Good.
Good? Is Leo talking?
He's talking more, not words, but he's just
Is he doing math?
no. I mean, you saw him the other day, and he was kind of like, did he talk to you when he came over?
He was staring at me. I held him for the first time.
Aww.
But he was crying for a little bit. He didn't want me to hold him for too long. He wanted Nino.
Well, no, it's just like he gets fussy.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who holds him. He just gets fussy.
He gets, I was holding him like this, and he was putting his legs on my chest. He has some leg muscles now. Like, he can, I don't know if he can stand on his own, but he can hold himself up.
Yeah, he, kicks himself up. It's pretty cool.
He's getting strong.
Yeah.
Nina was showing him some weird cartoon where they sing with creepy graphics.
Some weird cartoon?
He's some modern day cartoon.
Maybe it was Miss Rachel.
Maybe, I don't know. It was like computer animated.
Mm-hmm.
It's like little kids singing. And Nino's like, they love them. He loves the music.
It might be Bebefin. It's the one where they sing Baby Shark.
Maybe, yeah, maybe it was that. And I was like, you're supposed to show him he's growing up on. He's like, he likes the singing.
Yeah, he likes the songs. I don't know. I like Blue's Clues, but I don't know. I don't remember Blue's Clues.
He said that. He was like, what cartoon did we grow up with that had singing? And literally, he stumped me. I was like, I cannot think of a single one.
I can't think of a single one either. Maybe Barney, but that wasn't a cartoon.
But Barney has songs. It's not singing.
Yeah.
Like, he made it sound like this show's like mostly singing.
Yeah.
Shows we grew up on occasionally had songs. He stumped me. Mm-hmm. Normally, you can't stump me with television and movie trivia, but he stumped me. I couldn't think of a single one.
I can't think of one that had songs either. Like Blue's Clues, they didn't really have songs. Except for
like the Magic Notebook or whatever.
Yeah,
he would sing like the theme and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, this show apparently had a lot of songs on it, and he liked it.
Now again, this is a show that only has one song. Mm-hmm. But to be fair, it's the song that never ends.
Oh, it's Lamb Chop.
Lamb Chop, yeah, it's show Lamb Chop.
Yeah, Lamb Chop.
I used to love that.
I love Lamb Chop.
I asked him, I was like, are you going to show him Rugrats? And he was like, you have to teach him who Tommy Pickles is? And Nina goes, you mean the psychopath who tried to murder his brother? And I was like, well, damn, that's a take.
Wait, the psychopath who tried to murder his brother?
He brought up the movie, and I was like, man, it's been so long since I've seen the movie. But like when he said it, I was like, oh, he's right. He's like, he wanted to throw him off a train track because he was getting more attention than he was.
Dill?
Yeah.
Aww.
And I was like,
they were babies. Oh, that I don't remember that part.
Yeah, I didn't remember it until he said it, and then I was like, yeah, Tommy did kind of like, we should lose my brother, he should die.
Oh man.
I was like, but he's Tommy, we love Tommy. You can't hold Tommy responsible for a moment of murderous rage he felt towards his little brother.
So the lesson learned is like, don't treat your kids better than one or the other.
I think the real lesson is, if you have a creepy immortal baby who hasn't aged in 8 years, don't suddenly give him a younger brother.
Oh, that's true. He never aged, and then he all of a sudden got a younger brother. That is true.
Yeah, he was like one
forever
for like 11 years, and then suddenly he was in high school.
Yeah.
How does this work?
They just ended up in high school.
Oh man.
Rugrats all grown up. Well, Rugrats.
It is called Rugrats all grown up, even though they were not all grown up. Yeah.
They should have an old Rugrats where they're older.
I think they tried to do a Rugrats remake, and I didn't really care for it. But what it should have been, if they were smart, it should have been their kids. Mm-hmm. Have a grown-up Tommy, have a grown-up Chucky, and then the babies are their kids.
Yeah.
That I would watch.
Mm-hmm.
Rugrats was great.
It was.
And I love Tommy. I don't care what your husband says. I love Tommy Pickles.
I never knew that about Tommy. It's not something I remembered.
No one thinks that Tommy's a homicidal maniac.
Yeah. I don't even remember that part, so it must have not been that significant for me to remember.
Once Nino said it, it's all I thought about. I was like, no, he has a point. Like, it was a pretty drastic response.
I need to watch that movie again to see like how evil he was.
I never thought of it until Nino said it. I was like, yeah, no. Tommy's really overreacted in that movie. But then after the movie, he loved his brother.
Yeah.
And he, like, on the show, he took crazy good care of his brother.
Yeah. He was a good big brother.
He was, if you exclude the movie.
Yeah, but then he realized, oh, that's my brother. I gotta be nice.
And that was the point of the movie. It was him learning to love and appreciate his brother.
Yeah.
And outside of that one time, he was never mean or cruel.
Exactly.
Tommy's a good guy.
He was always.
He's not Angelica.
Oh yeah, Angelica was a bully. Angelica was always mean with Cynthia.
Yes.
Yeah.
And her mom was always on the phone with me.
Oh
Jonathan,
yeah.
Jonathan.
Because her mom never paid attention to her, so that's why she ended up the way she was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't always remember. Okay, so then there's Susie. She was the other 3-year-old.
Susie.
She was the black girl. The other 3-year-old. What was Chucky's sister's name?
She's Asian.
Yes.
I forgot her name.
I don't remember her name either.
Yeah. I just remember it was her stepsister.
She's the only one whose name I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember her name.
Because I remember everybody else's name. I just don't remember her name. But she was on only 2 seasons? Like, she was only on...
She wasn't on for very much. Yeah. Yeah. Dang, I can't remember her name. But yeah, I guess because we didn't see her, growing up. It was
No,
just
she came on later.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't make as big a deal of her entrance as they did deal.
Yeah. Still's baby brother.
Do you remember when they crossed over with the Wild Thornberrys?
I don't even think I saw that one.
Oh, that was the third movie.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, no. They crossed over with Wild Thornberrys. Did you watch Wild Thornberrys?
I watched Wild Thornberrys. Yeah. That was pretty good. I didn't know. I didn't watch it when they crossed over. So they had a movie together?
There were 3 movies. So there was the Rugrats the movie, which was Dill's birth. Uh-huh. Then there was the Rugrats, I think, Do Paris.
Yeah, I watched the
And then Rugrats Gone Wild, which is the third one where they crossed over with Wild Thornberrys.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
I used to love the Wild Thornberrys.
Yeah.
Nigel, the dad, was insane.
He was
crazy.
I loved their accents.
Yes. And then what was the kid, Darwin?
The kid that was always like
Tarzan?
Yeah. Like he was like an animal.
Yes. That was a good show.
It was.
You have to keep this thing you and Nina said. We're gonna show him our cartoons and not these new cartoons.
But right now he's just
he's just listening to the music.
That's the only thing that calms him down.
Yeah, no.
Because he gets so fussy.
He's also not old enough that he'll remember anything he's watching. So none of this matters. It's when he's a little older. Then you got to start showing him good things Real Monsters.
Exactly. Like when he can understand, we can start showing him all those.
What's your favorite cartoon from when we were kids?
Ooh.
Were you a Nick girl, or I call you a guy? Are you a Nick girl or a Disney girl, or what was
Nick at Night and Cartoon Network?
Well, Nick at Night was sitcoms.
Okay, so
Nick during the day.
Nick during the day.
Were you Hey Arnold?
I loved Hey Arnold. I loved Powerpuff Girls, which I guess was Cartoon Network.
Cartoon Network. So Cartoon Network had Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Laboratory, things like that.
Yeah.
I liked them all.
Dexter's Lab was really good.
Dexter's Lab was genius. What you should do is play him the theme songs to all these cartoons.
Yeah.
See if that calms it down.
Yeah. He did I was watching, I started Pokemon, was it Kanto, the original one?
Yeah. The original one was just called Pokemon, but it was in Kanto.
Yeah. So he does the Pokemon rap song. After every episode.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't after every episode. It wasn't in the middle. It was commercial breaks, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's towards the end, I guess.
Oh, towards the end. I thought it was commercial breaks because when we watched it originally, it would be when they come back from commercial that they would solve the mystery that everybody always got because it was so obvious.
Yeah. I was like, who's that Pokemon? It's Pikachu!
I was rewatching Pokemon, and then I got distracted and I haven't gotten back to it, but the last one I saw was I finished the 2-parter where they were on the boat. And the boat starts sinking and they have to get off. I got to there on my rewatch.
I think that's actually where I'm at right now. They're in the boat and they're presumed dead already.
Yes. And he traded his Butterfree?
I didn't get to that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Dang, Jonathan.
I thought you were past it.
We need to rewatch it.
What do you do? Because it happened before the boat started sinking and you're they're presumed dead. So you had to have gotten past that part.
I have to rewatch it.
It's not me spoiling
It's not
things.
you.
It's her not paying
It's
attention.
me not paying attention. I watch things and I have to rewatch it because I pay attention. Because you ever watch a show and then you'll be on your phone and you're like, oh shit, I gotta rewatch this.
Sometimes. I'm really good at when I was a teenager. I taught myself how to multitask by putting two televisions next to each other, watching two different shows, and then after each show, I would stop and try to figure out what happened on each show that I had just watched. So I've gotten very good at dividing my attention between things and being able to focus on both. I think I gave myself ADHD.
Yeah, so I'll be watching TV and I'll be playing not Pokemon Go, Monopoly Go.
I was about to say, Pokemon Go while sitting there has to be the most boring thing. Like, that's a walkie game.
We did play or watching previews on the movies, too. Like, if it's a preview that we've already seen.
Yeah.
Well, before the previews start, we'll be sitting there and we'll be, like, catching Pokemon. And sometimes there'll be Pokemon around us.
Now that seats are assigned, I time it so I go in when the trailers start or in the middle of the trailers. I don't do the Nubia anymore. I can't remember the last time I've seen Nubia.
They don't even do newbies. They just talk about it and then they're like, oh, well, this is the newbies, but they don't really give us the trivia anymore.
Really? That's gone?
Yeah, it's gone.
I know she's still there because I've seen once or twice her say, this is the newbies.
She says, this is the newbies, but they completely cut out everything.
Wow.
Except for the ending, like, this is the newbies.
Why? Because of people like me? Did I ruin it? I'm sorry.
I don't know what happened. Because we'll be in there and it'll be some other, like...
The trivia was fun. I just don't want to sit there forever. The trailers are already 20 minutes.
It'll be trailers for some other stuff, and then they'll be like, this is the newbies. And I'm like, what newbies? You didn't say anything. Like, they completely gut it out and just put, like,
that's insane.
Random other trailers.
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
Who do I write about this? I mean, I'm not going to start going back early to watch it, but I want it to exist.
I wanted it to exist. I liked the quizzes and stuff like that. I thought it was entertaining because we usually get there early. And
Yeah.
I was like,
Why? You have assigned seats.
I don't know. We just got there early sometimes. Why do you not get there early?
Because I don't want to sit there forever.
But the newbies.
I have things to do. So, what have you seen? Because it's been jam-packed full of movies.
Well, recently we saw The Unicorn. Death of the Unicorn? Yeah.
So this week there were 3 movies that came out that I want to see. Death of the Unicorn, which I saw, which was funny. That movie is genius.
That one was hilarious.
I love that, like, the unicorns were so vicious and cruel, but then, like, helped them. Like, spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
Like, it's, the unicorns kind of saved them at the end.
Only the pure-hearted.
Yes. And Paul Rudd.
And Paul Rudd. Because, I think it's because she was sad.
Yeah, it was for her.
It was only for her. Otherwise, they would have let him die.
But it was a great movie. It was great. It was really fun. The only part of the movie that I thought was questionable was that I was like, well, this is some old-timey quasi-racism here. So, did you notice that when the unicorns were happy and peaceful, they were white? And then when they were filled with rage...
Yeah, I noticed that, and Nino pointed out it's because when it's like dark is considered evil.
Yes.
That's how it is for like most things. Like
it's very European.
Like
Europeans kind of
you
invented
played Sonic before. Yeah. You throw the chows on the wall, and if you're like very vicious, if you ever threw the chows against the wall like 100 times, they turn black.
I did not notice
that. They go to hell. They open up in hell. And then when you pet them all the time, they turn white, and then they go to heaven.
So a lot of this, white equal purity and darkness equals evil. Mm-hmm. It's a very European thing, which was kind of the original basis for a lot of our racist beliefs in our society.
Yeah, I never thought of it as racism. I guess because it's always been like
it's ingrained in our culture. This is all stuff that I learned as I started to read a lot of civil rights books and things that talk about the history of racism.
Yeah,
that a lot of that was how it started.
Yeah. I guess I never
was about
thought
purity.
Of it that way. Yeah.
About white being pure. Mm-hmm. And then it extends to other things. It's a holdover from that stuff.
Yeah.
So that was the only part that I was like, I wish they didn't do that.
Yeah.
But
now that you mention it, I'm like, I could see how that's kind of racist.
Yeah.
White.
But it's I don't think the intention was racist.
Yeah, because that's kind of what we grew up on.
It is very ingrained in the culture. It's one of those things that you have to unlearn.
Yeah.
I wish they had unlearned that.
Yeah.
That was the only part of the movie that I was like, they could have fixed that. But the overlying message of the movie that capitalism, especially capitalism mixed with medicine, is inherently evil.
Yes.
I loved
that message. Yeah.
I loved it. I was like, yes.
Yeah, like greed. It just shows you like what happens when you're so greedy. Like, you know.
It was so great. So great. I was such a fan of that messaging.
Yeah.
It was a really fun movie.
It was funny. It was hilarious.
Then the other movie I saw this week was Working Man.
I saw that too.
What did you think?
Jason Statham, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. The ending was kind of abrupt.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So I told Nino this, but he didn't know it. You know, it was written and produced by Sylvester Stallone.
I didn't know.
It said it in the opening credits.
I could see that because there was so much, like shooting, like with the gun. Like,
but also, the shooting with the gun is all of Jason Statham's
That
movie.
one scene where the Russian comes in and he goes crazy with that machine gun. It reminded me of Scarface, which is not
at all.
I keep mixing it up. Who was that again? Al Pacino. Sorry, I keep mixing them up because they're both, you know.
What's your phone?
They're both
Italian.
I kind of semi-racist there.
How do I unlock your phone?
Swipe up.
I'm like, let me see your phone, because clearly I want to look something up, and then you give me a locked phone. Okay. No, that's your. What's your internet?
Right here. I mean, you can just open up a new tab.
Oh, you have your internet for your email? You don't have a separate email app?
I mean,
do things weird.
I don't know. I just looked up my email through the internet.
Okay, let me see. I will put this on the screen behind us. But that is Al Pacino.
Yeah, okay.
And then you have an iPhone, so your thing's on the bottom.
Sylvester Stallone is
Rocky.
Yeah.
So I don't need to look up Sylvester Stallone. You know what he looks like now.
Yeah, he's Rocky.
Okay. So that's Al Pacino and Rocky. Two completely different people.
Then why did he produce it like Al Pacino, like Scarface?
That's just Jason Statham movies. All Jason Statham movies are the same. The way you could tell this is a Sylvester Stallone movie is because of how heavily it leaned into the family aspect.
Oh.
That is Stallone. Stallone is always trying to do movies about character development and emotional stakes.
I guess the beginning was very family oriented, and then just towards the middle there was a lot of guns and shooting.
Yeah, but that's also Stallone. I mean, he does the Expendable movies.
Yeah.
He's Rambo.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Accusing Al Pacino.
Al Pacino. Yeah, because you know what scene I'm talking about with that big machine gun and he just starts shooting.
Oh, God.
He's like, say hello to my little friend.
I just saw for the first time last night Devil's Advocate. Have you ever seen that?
No.
So it's Al Pacino is the devil.
Okay.
But he also runs a law firm. And Keanu Reeves gets hired by that law firm.
Wow.
So it turns out that he's working for the devil.
That's crazy.
It's a really good movie. I've never seen it before. It's genius. You should watch it.
Okay. I'll watch that.
But Working Man was great. I really liked it. It was emotional. It was touching. I hated the grandfather.
Oh, yeah. The grandfather was kind of
Jackass.
And then the daughter was like, you know, he could have left you in there to die.
I like that the Russians were the bad guys. The current American administration should take note of that.
Yeah.
The Russians are the bad guys. Just, FYI.
Russians.
Not the Ukrainians. The Russians. They're the bad guys.
The Russians.
Did you notice on a Working Man? Graffitied on the wall, it just said Ukraine.
I don't think I remember that part.
just randomly on the wall. Ukraine.
Dang.
Russians were the villains, and then graffiti said Ukraine. And I was like, fuck with this. I was like, this is good.
Dang.
I was worried because Sylvester Stallone is Trump's ambassador to Hollywood. But if he's still writing movies where Russians are the villains...
He's his ambassador to Hollywood?
I don't know. That's what Trump said. I didn't hear Sylvester Stallone come out and say it. I heard Trump say it.
Okay. It's weird.
Yeah, I'd be very disappointed in Stallone if that was true.
Yeah.
But it was good. And the other movie I want to see this week is called Woman in the Yard.
Ooh, that one looks so good. I can't wait to see that one.
Yeah, so you guys are going to watch that too?
Yeah.
I'm going to try to watch it either today or tomorrow because it looks really good.
Yeah.
But last week had 4 movies, or actually had 6, but I only saw 4. I had no interest in one, and another one I kind of want to do well, but don't really want to watch. So the 6 movies that came out last week was Ash, which was genius, and you need to watch because there's a guy in it.
Has what?
There's a guy in it.
Oh, what's his face?
From Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
So it's the sci-fi movie where this girl wakes up on a spaceship and has no memory. She has like a giant head wound, and she can't remember anything.
Yeah.
And everyone else on the spaceship is dead. And then your guy shows up, and she doesn't remember him, and they're trying to piece together what happened.
Yeah, Aaron Paul.
Yes. No, yes.
Yeah.
It's such a good movie. I said no originally because Paul is also the last name of the dude from Highlander. And I was like, wait, I know this guy from Highlander, but no, they're both last names Paul. I can't remember the Highlander dude's first name. But not the movie. That's damn it, I'm drawing a blank on everyone with it. But from the TV show Highlander. But it's a really good movie. It's suspenseful. It's a horror movie.
Yeah, I didn't see previews for it.
Dude, I think it was like such a... I don't even know if it's still in theaters. It was such a like small hole-in-the-wall movie, but it was great. I'm going to skip the second movie I saw because that's the best of them all. I'll come to that one last.
Okay.
Then there was Black Bag.
Oh, yeah, that's with James Bond.
There's Brosnan.
Yeah.
It's like Daniel Craig wasn't in that movie. Oh, speaking of James Bond.
Oh, Daniel Craig, the new James Bond.
I just bought all of the James Bond movies.
That's the whole, like, all the Bonds?
All but one, which is why I also bought the last one, yeah. So this says all of them but the last one, so then I had to buy the last one separate.
So the picture of all of them?
Yeah.
Who's the first one? Is that Sean Connery?
Sean Connery.
And who's the second one?
Oh, okay, I'm going to be completely honest, and this is going to destroy my cred.
You don't know?
James Bond? I've seen all of the Sean Connery James Bond movies. I've seen all the Pierce Brosnan and Daniel Craig ones. The middle ones, I have not seen.
Like, who the hell are those guys?
I know one is Timothy Dalton, and one is... I don't know. See, I'm not...
Now you get to watch them.
Now I'm going to watch them all in order. I've only seen the...
I didn't know there were other Bonds besides Sean Connery and...
There's one Australian dude who was in one James Bond movie.
Oh.
And then there's Timothy Dalton, who was in a couple. And then I think there was one more, who I can't remember the name. I'm telling you, the original movies, seen them all.
What's your favorite? Do you have one? Is it tough?
I know this is going to make me lose a lot of credibility as a movie guy, but I love... I'm drawing a blank on the name. The one with Halle Berry.
Pierce Brosnan, Die Another Day.
Die Another Day.
That one was good.
I love that. That's my favorite one. So when I've rewatched the most, Pierce Brosnan is my Bond. I'm sorry. I know I know like Bond fanatics, but I grew up with him.
You grew up with him.
Don't get me wrong. I do love Sean Connery. I think Sean Connery was great as James Bond. I don't know the middle ones. Daniel Craig's not bad, but I've never had the affinity for Daniel Craig that I had for Pierce Brosnan.
I haven't watched his
or Sean Connery
yet. Daniel Craig, is it really good?
I will say this: Daniel Craig's James Bond movies, and I didn't really put this like his first movie, Casino Royale, was kind of a soft reboot, and No Time is it called No Time to Die or No Time to Die? Yeah, which is his last one. Feels like an ending for the character. So his movies could be their own thing. His Bond is the only James Bond that kind of feels standalone. Even though there's still some overlap with the other movies. And now that Amazon bought James Bond and is trying to fire the people who have run the franchise forever, who knows what the future of James Bond is going to look like. But Black Bag was really good.
Yeah. I need to watch it. We didn't get to watch it. I don't think it's in theaters anymore, so I guess we'll wait until it's streaming.
Yeah, it's a fun little kind of whodunit.
Oh, that's cool.
But with like spy and espionage, and Pierce Brosnan's great. How do you not love Pierce Brosnan?
Exactly.
And then the other movie was called Alto Knights, and he's playing two gangsters who used to be best friends and now hate each other. He's playing opposite himself.
Is that still in theaters?
I don't know. Here's the thing. This is what I told Ashley. It's a really good movie. I don't know if you need to see this movie in theaters because it is very, very slow.
Oh, so the three movies we have coming up are Amateur, Drop, and Sinners.
I want to see all three of those.
Yeah.
And The Accountant.
When is The Woman in the Yard coming out?
It's already out. It's in theaters now.
So, we gotta watch that too.
Yeah. And then the other movie, the one that I skipped, that came out last week, was called Locked. It has Anthony Hopkins in it. Barely. He's only in it a little bit. But it's mainly just the dude who played Pennywise in the new It movies. Who played the Crow. That guy. You know who I'm talking about? You saw the new Crow. So the guy who played the new Crow. This is his movie. And basically, I'm not going to give too much away, but the premise is he breaks into a car, an SUV, and then gets locked in the SUV. Like he cannot get out of the SUV. And the movie, it sounds like such a stupid premise. It's fucking genius. One of the best movies I've seen in a long time. I've never thought he was a good actor. Now he's one of my favorite actors. Movie is brilliant. It's well worth seeing. You should go watch this movie. It's produced by Sam Raimi from Evil Dead. So good. I know it sounds like a weird premise, a dude locked in a car.
I mean, it sounds interesting.
But it's so well done. It's so emotional. It's so, like, nail-biting, edge of your seat. Like, what's going to happen? You're just rooting for him. Like, it's so good. And then the other two movies that came out last week, the one that I don't want to watch, but I hope it does well, is called Magazine Dreams.
Oh, I've never heard of that one.
It's a movie about, like, a bodybuilder. It's not something I really care about, but it's Jonathan Majors' return to acting.
Oh, he's coming back.
Yes, so I don't want to see it, but I hope it does well.
He's not coming back to Marvel.
He put out a release that says, I've reached out to Kevin Feige. I told him I love what they're doing, and I'm watching every movie. I'm rooting for him, and if they want Kang back, I'll be there in a heartbeat. Okay. So, I mean, he put it out there. Now, is Disney going to take a chance? I don't know.
I think they should.
I don't think he did anything. I don't believe the thing. Like, it was all. She was proven to be lying about parts of it. I think he's innocent.
If she was proven to be lying, then yeah.
I think he was unfairly attacked, and I think he deserves his career back.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
So I want him to do well. I want this movie to do well, so that because he's a brilliant actor. Yeah. He's really. I've never seen anything of his I didn't like.
Well, I mean, I only saw him in Kane. I don't know if what other movie was he?
He was in Creed 3.
Oh, he was in Creed 3. Duh, he was the.
He was the bad guy in Creed 3.
No, he was really good in that movie.
He was in Lovecraft Country. It's a show on HBO Max. You know who H.P. Lovecraft is, right?
I know him because I used to stream World of Warcraft and call it Lovecraft, and someone was like, "Oh, you watch H.P. Lovecraft?" And I was like, "No, I don't. I just named my stream Lovecraft because I like World of Warcraft." Lovecraft
is one of the old school horror and sci-fi writers. He was an author. A lot of his work, I haven't read a lot of it, I've read some of it. Genius work, but it's also a little problematic. Dude was a racist. But so they took a lot of his stories, because you can't really love sci-fi without falling into love with some of the things that either he did or was inspired by him. Mm-hmm. So they took his thing and they put it through a black lens, and they kind of reclaimed his work. This is a great show. You should watch HBO. You should watch Lovecraft Country. Okay. It's a really good show. He was in that. He was in this pilot movie. I forgot what it's called, but that was really good. He's a good actor. He deserves to have his career back. And then the other thing that came out last week that I have no desire to watch was Snow White.
Is it the animated one?
No, it's live action.
When we went to go watch A Death of the Unicorn, Snow White was still playing. Like, I guess it was like really close together because our movie started at 6:45.
Oh, so you saw the ending of Snow White?
Yeah, we saw the ending.
Was it bad or was it?
Well, we noticed it was Snow White and we got out. So I mean, it looked pretty cool, but we didn't stick around to watch it.
So
yeah,
there's a lot of like political controversy about it. The Snow White actress, is very pro Gaza. The evil queen Gal Gadot was also obviously a veteran of Israeli's army. So there's like pro-Palestine people who were protesting because Gal Gadot. There were pro-Israel people baptizing.
So they're protesting Gal Gadot?
Yeah, that's not.
But just because she's Israeli doesn't mean she's.
That's what I'm saying. Like that, all of that stuff, whatever. The movie's technically representing both sides.
Yeah. But one thing I don't get is like people who are like, oh, they're Israeli. They just don't like them because they're Israeli, right?
That's nonsense. I don't like that either. And I also don't like. Well, they served in the Israeli military. Everyone who's Israeli has to serve in the military.
Yeah, like I don't think they don't have a choice. Because I like Gal Gadot. She's.
Gadot, isn't it?
Gal Gadot, whatever. I like her.
I like her too. I think she was good in the Fast and Furious movies. I liked her as Wonder Woman. Second movie I have issues with, but it wasn't her fault. It was the writing of the script.
Yeah.
I think she's a good actress. I don't mind her. Like that stuff I don't care about, but people are protesting from that. Yeah. My issue was, why did you use AI or CGI or whatever to make the dwarfs? Why not hire real actors?
Oh yeah, they did use CGI.
Why not just hire real actors?
Did they have a lot of dwarf actors out there?
So much so that there's a union for specifically dwarf actors who got mad that they weren't hired.
They should have.
Like, why would you? That's what I'm like. Oh, that's fucked up. Like, how are you gonna do that? You're not hiring them.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up.
I didn't like that with the Wonka movie either. I don't like that for that. Like, why not? Like, these roles, like, I understand. Like,
they should hire real actors.
Yeah.
For these roles.
Peter Dinklage is like, that should not be the only roles that dwarves get, and I'm 100% with him. Like, no, it shouldn't be, obviously.
Yeah.
But those roles should still go to dwarfs. Like, if we're trying to get to a place where we're more sensitive and like people should play the roles of their people, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then doesn't that include them? Why would we not? Why would we take roles away from them and computer animate it?
It does.
That seems stupid. I don't like that.
I didn't know why was it the reason that they did CGI?
They thought it would be offensive to cast dwarves in those roles.
That's
stupid. It's stupid. I don't like that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I don't like is apparently, and I don't know if this is true, so I guess I should watch it just to see if it's true or not. But apparently they got rid of the love story aspect of it.
In Snow White?
In Snow White. Like, apparently they're downplaying the prince and all of that. And it's like, isn't that the point of Snow White?
Yeah, the prince kisses her.
Why are you doing Snow White if you're getting rid of the princess? Do a different story.
Yeah.
If you don't want the prince aspect of it, do a different story.
Why are they trying to mess up the story?
I don't know. To me, it's stupid.
They shouldn't call it Snow White.
No.
They should call it something else.
If you want a story about woman empowerment, there are plenty of them. Or just make a new one.
Yeah.
This is a love story.
Yeah, they shouldn't just like ruin Snow White because they want to do like empower women. I don't know.
And also, like, if you want to do the Snow White story and empower women, a good example of how you do that is the show Once Upon a Time. Have you ever seen that?
A show?
Yeah, there's a show called Once Upon a Time.
I don't think I've seen it.
You should watch it.
Okay.
So basically, Once Upon a Time, it's a show on ABC. It had one season spin-off called Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. Some stuff in that then crosses over to the main show. You should watch both. I have a list. You guys can watch it in order.
Okay.
You guys know this is who I am. But basically, the premise is we follow this lady named Emma Swan, right? And she ends up going to this town that turns out called Storybrooke, which turns out that it's really a curse where all of the Storybrooke characters, all of the characters from, Disney movies, all the Disney princess movies and stuff like that, were brought here under curse and now think they're normal people.
Oh.
And so slowly you have to unwind who's what and all that, and you're gonna play around with Beauty and the Beast and Rumpelstiltskin. Snow White and Prince Charming are two of the main characters. And Snow White is a strong, powerful woman, sometimes stronger than Prince Charming, but they don't diminish Prince Charming. Like, they both have their moments.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time is how you do the original story, but make it more feminist and more modern without diminishing the actual story. Mm-hmm. There's ways to do it.
Yeah.
And getting rid of the prince is not how you do it. That's just... It's one of... I used to listen to this podcast, and one of the creators of the podcast was trying to remake Xena. You ever watch Xena?
Yeah, I remember Xena, the
Warrior Princess. So he was trying to remake Xena, and it didn't get picked up. And I was like, man, that sucks. I would love to see his take on it. So then he released the pilot script and the Bible for the show to the podcast audience. And I was like, oh, that's going to be awesome. So I read his script. And I was like, oh, I understand now why they didn't pick this up. This should never exist. Basically, because he was so upset that it didn't get picked up, and he was like, mine is a more feminist version of Xena. And I was like, wow, Xena was a pretty feminist show. How is this more feminist than Xena? And then I read it, and I was like, oh, this dude doesn't understand feminism.
So how was it?
So, I don't know how much you know about the origin of Xena.
I don't know much.
Okay, so there was a show called Hercules: The Legendary Journeys. Mm-hmm. I know Kevin Sorbo says some pretty radical out there stuff now, but the show still holds up. Genius, funny, great show. Don't let his political beliefs take away from the fact that that's a damn good show.
Okay.
He's crazy right. Crazy right. But the show's damn good.
Right. Well, as long as the show is good.
So, in the first season, Aeolus, his best friend, falls in love with this warrior, Xena. And she tries to turn him against Hercules. It's a 3-episode, trilogy of episodes, where Xena's trying to get Aeolus to help her kill Hercules. And she's this badass war queen. Hercules defeats her because he's Hercules. And then her army turns against her and she has to stop her. And then they gave her her own show because she was so beloved. And her show is all about, redemption. Her show is all about redemption. It's all about, I was a horrible person. She was dating Ares, the god of war, Hercules' evil half-brother. And she did horrible atrocities. Her greatest villain in the show, who's always trying to kill her, is a little girl who she killed her entire family brutally in front of her. Wow. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Xena was a monster. And Hercules beat her. Mm-hmm. And he didn't beat her by, I'm super strong and I hurt you. He kind of beat her by, making her see what she's doing is wrong. And by beating the shit out of all of her army. Okay. But it's always once those initial episodes come on, it's always played as Hercules and Xena are equals. Okay. Hercules never treated her like, I'm better than you. He always treated her as a friend and an ally and a partner. Because he understood. She fucked up and now she's trying to do right. He never talked, it was never you're a sidekick. It was always, you're my equal. And it was very heavily, because they would cross over a lot. Those two shows would constantly cross over.
Okay.
And Xena's whole thing was about redemption. It was about making amends for all the harm she caused.
So that was the whole show.
The whole show. And there was always, now keep in mind this was the 90s. So Hercules was about Hercules and Aeolus wandering around. But you never questioned their sexuality because Hercules would occasionally fall in love and get married over and over again on the show. He was a monogamous through and through. He would one girl marry her and then she would die over and over again throughout the show. Aeolus would just sleep around. He'd be like, "Oh, she's hot. Hey, how you doing?" Xena and Gabrielle, her psychic. Let me just say, Gabrielle. Everyone always talks about how beautiful Lucy Lawless is, and she is. Lucy Lawless' voice. Gabrielle was beyond beautiful. Little blonde girl.
She was the sidekick.
She was the sidekick.
Yes, I remember her. She
so
was pretty.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
They both had love interests on the show too, but you always kind of got the impression that if it wasn't the 90s, they would have been together.
Yeah.
You always kind of got that. Their relationship was a little, what's under the surface here. So this dude's script, when I read it, first of all, Hercules in his script was a villain pretending to be a good guy who manipulated Xena into doing bad things. So all the bad atrocities that Xena ever committed was because Hercules tricked her into it. Gabrielle was not a young girl who she took under her wing, but Gabrielle was a warrior queen who helped Xena see the errors of her ways. And I'm just like, you took away all of Xena's agency. In this feminist version of Xena is what he was calling it. You took away everything about Xena that was feminist. Basically, his idea of feminist was that the relationship between Xena and Gabrielle wasn't heavily hinted at. It was just stated.
Yeah.
They were lovers. And it's like, that, them being lesbians doesn't make it feminist. That's not what... Not all feminists are like, what are you saying? Like, how is this an argument?
Oh my gosh.
And it's just like, you took away all of her agency. The original Xena was a horrible monster who then wanted redemption. She saw Hercules, saw what he did, and was like, oh, he has all of the power in the world, and decides to do right with it. Hercules has the strength, he could dominate anybody he wants to, and he chooses instead to help people. And that inspired Xena that I should be better. So the whole show is her trying to be better. It's all about her agency.
Okay.
She goes toe-to-toe with the Greek gods because she doesn't agree with what they're telling her to do. She has power and determination in herself to do what she thinks is right. That's feminism. You saying that every bad thing she's ever done was her being manipulated by a man is taking agency away from her? That's the opposite of feminism. I still love the guy. I love his podcast. I love other things he's worked on.
Yeah.
But the dude does not understand feminism. And it was such a bad script. Like, not like bad writing. Like, if it was something else that he didn't... If the characters weren't based off of Xena, I probably wouldn't have been like, this is bad. I've been like, oh, this is interesting. But because it was based off of Xena, and he referred to it as the feminist version of Xena, I was just like, you don't understand feminism. You inherently do not understand it. You cannot take away the agency from the lead female character and call yourself a feminist show. Feminism is all about women having agency. Agency doesn't just mean that they're good people. That's not what agency means. Agency means they can make decisions on their own. And her making decisions to be bad is just as important as her making decisions to be good.
Yeah.
And if you have to... The thing is, like, Xena also treated Hercules as an equal. If you have to mean that the only male hero in that universe is secretly a villain, that's not making the woman look more powerful. That's you saying that the only way a woman could be powerful is if the men are depowered. That is sexist as hell.
Dang, that's crazy.
I had never been more disappointed with reading something. And I was like, man, I thought he got it, but he doesn't understand these concepts.
That right him.
And he thinks he does. And it's so sad. Dude thinks he's a feminist, but he's a misogynist. He doesn't understand it. I was so heartbroken by it.
I guess he just needs someone to tell him.
Oh, but people like that, they don't want to hear it, because when you point out that their allyship is performative, they get very upset.
Oh.
So you just... That's other people's battle to fight.
Okay.
But it I was so upset. I was so bothered by this. I was so disappointed. I'm so glad it didn't get... I've never been glad a show hasn't been picked up before. I was so glad this show wasn't picked up. It would have ruined the character. It's like when the new Charm show came out, which I haven't finished it yet. I never saw the last season, but the new Charm show wasn't bad. It wasn't like as good as the original, but it wasn't bad.
I haven't seen Charm. So.
Either one?
No, either one.
The new one.
We're in the middle of watching Power.
Okay.
So much shows that we need to catch up
We'll circle back. We'll do Power on the next episode. This episode don't go. But like the new Charm was a good show. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I don't really have a problem with the new Charm.
It's kind of like Buffy, right?
But that is the most offensive thing I've ever heard. So the new Charm said that it's going to be
Are they vampires in Charm? No.
Let me finish this thought,
Okay.
and then I will break down how rude that was. So the new one was like, this is a charm if it was feminist. And I'm like, okay, but the original show were 3 women who chose themselves and their careers over their relationships. They all had relationships, but they didn't prioritize their relationships over their careers or their destiny or their sisterhood. How is that not feminist? I don't think people understand this word feminist.
They really don't.
I really think that in their minds that feminist means men don't matter. Like if you because the new Charmed only has one guy and he is such a their white lighter is so bows down to what they want, whereas Leo would sometimes take more charge. Even though Leo was very supportive and very like, what do you need? And I think they think that like men can't have any importance in order for it to be feminist. It's like that's not what feminism means. You don't. Feminism is about elevating women to where men are. It's not about lowering men. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's where a lot of people confuse it. And I think that's where there's a lot of like controversy
they think
about
feminism is like, oh, you don't need a man. You don't need,
But that's not really what it is. It's just that like it's not that you it's that you don't need a man, but it's not that you don't want a man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not that men can't be there. It's that you shouldn't rely on a man to survive in the world.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why that concept is so hard for so many people to grasp. Now, I love Charmed. I love the original Charmed. I have had a crush on Alyssa Milano since I was a child, and she was on Who's the Boss. I can maintain. I was a child. She's older than me. A show came out before I was born. I do not still have a crush on her from that era. But I've always loved her. So I love Charmed. But Charmed is not on the same level as Buffy. The writing is not on the same level. The storylines are not on the same level. The acting is not on the same level. Charmed is a B-rated TV show that is fun and light, has good messages, good themes, and very beautiful women and very scantily clad. Supernatural.
Like
yes.
Buffy.
Yes, but Buffy, here's the thing. Charmed is... Buffy is more culturally relevant than Charmed.
Okay.
Buffy plays with themes better than Charmed does.
Okay.
Buffy is...
A vampire.
The writing on Buffy is far superior to the writing on Charmed.
Okay.
Charmed is trying to be Buffy. And it's funny though, because you hear the cast of Charmed go, we always took a backseat to Buffy. We were on the network longer, we did better ratings wise. It's like, yes, but you were not as culturally significant a show as Buffy. I'm sorry. A lot of for like in the 2000s, every good show was on. Basically, the rule was that the writers came from one of 2 rooms. They came from the Buffy room or they came from the Lost room.
Okay.
They did not come from the Charmed room. They came from Buffy or Lost. Buffy is the best Supernatural show.
Okay.
Like writing wise, story wise. Supernatural's common. The first 5 seasons are the closest you will ever get to Buffy level television.
Okay.
It's damn good.
I did see like the first few episodes, and they're pretty good.
The first 5 seasons, minus the last 5 minutes of the last episode, are brilliant. If the show ended 5 minutes before the ending of the last episode of season 5, it would go down as one of the greatest shows in television history.
So the last episode ruined it.
The last 5 minutes of the last episode, something happens that I'm like, how dare you? That's fucking stupid. You should not do this.
Okay.
But they did it. And then
And now they
the next 5 seasons were some of the most painful, drawn out, shitty television this world has ever produced.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Then the last 5 seasons were pretty alright. They were like Vampire Diaries, which I'm rewatching. Because Vampire Diaries is good. It's
It's
Charmed, Vampire Diaries. This is enjoyable.
a little bit of Buffy.
No, the first 5 seasons were Buffy-esque.
Okay.
The next 5 seasons were, what the hell is this garbage?
Okay.
No, the last 5 seasons were Charmed-esque. Okay. They're good. They're not great, but they're good. They're fun. I don't mind watching it. So, Supernatural starts here, drops here, and then ends here. You know, 5, 5, 5. And they managed to do it in 5s. 5, 5, 5. The show went on way too long.
Oh my god.
15 seasons.
Yeah, I saw it was really long because I wanted to start
15
it.
seasons.
I was going to start it and I was like, man, this is really long. And I started watching other things. And then I never went back.
And then here's what gets me. So the ending of Supernatural, if you end it where the creator of the show, Eric Kirby, wanted to end the show. Have you watched The Boys?
Yeah.
Eric Kirby, the guy who's doing The Boys, he was the creator of Supernatural. Yeah. And he made a show. He wanted to be 5 seasons long. After the 5 seasons, he's like, I have my ending, I'm gone. They then created the last 5 minutes of that show and then gave everything afterwards. Because they're like, this is making too much money, you don't get to tell us we're done.
Yeah.
So he only did the first 5 seasons, which is why the first 5 seasons are brilliant. The first 5 seasons are one story. But, what was I saying before I went on that Eric Kripke thing? What was I saying? Remind me, what was I saying?
The Supernatural
endings. So, the ending that Eric Kripke gave us before they added that little, I don't even think it's 5 minutes, it's probably like a minute. Before they added that, the ending he gave us was brilliant storytelling. Brilliant storytelling. You have 2 characters who start off in very specific places, and at the end of this 5-year journey, their places are kind of switched in a way that is organic, makes sense, beautiful. It is how you tell a story beginning to end, and it is a master class in storytelling. The ending they actually gave us, spoiler alert, the ending they actually gave us for Supernatural was ripped off and done worse than the ending of Vampire Diaries. They took the ending from Vampire Diaries, did it again, and did it worse.
Dang.
And then, keep in mind, both of these shows are on Warner Brothers, which then became CW. There was a third CW show who did the exact same ending, except was better than both of them. It was the most beautiful ending ever, and I forgave it. Superman and Lois did the same ending as Vampire Diaries and Supernatural, but they did it better than both of them.
Okay.
But all 3 shows have the exact same ending. Why do they have the same ending?
They just cheated off of each other while they were doing their script writing. Copied off.
Well, Vampire Diaries finished first, so they all stole from Vampire Diaries. So infuriating. So infuriating. But at least Superman and Lois did it better. Supernatural did it worse. And the Vampire Diaries ending's not great either. So it's like, why? Why would you keep stealing that ending?
I don't know.
So frustrating. I think that's the ending of this episode.
Yeah.
I'm Jonathan.
Zelda.
Give us legends.
It's more Supernatural.
We do. Last minute tangent. So there's a prequel series called The Winchesters. I've only seen half of it. It's actually pretty good. It's about the parents. Okay. But apparently, even though the ending of Supernatural at the end of season 15, clearly an ending, you cannot come back from it. Apparently they want to make a new Supernatural show where they come back that takes place after that 15 years.
Oh, why?
Why?